Hello world. How you guys doing? Welcome to Mayhem in May. I'm your host, Dr. Casual Pitts. And of course, guys, as always, I'm excited because today we are talking about hire for attitude. So look, I am not going to hold you guys for long. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. So my particular tip when it comes to hiring for attitude is when hiring for small businesses, focus on attitude first and skill second. An employee with a positive attitude is much more likely to be successful within your business than someone with a negative attitude, even if they have the most impressive skills. With the right attitude, you can provide the necessary training to help them become successful in the business. This is great for the employee and business owner alike. So listen, guys, I'm going to have my assistant put what we call a discovery session in the comment section. What I want you to do is I want you to fill out that discovery section. Once you fill out the discovery session sheet, what happens is it automatically sends you a personality test. This is what I recommend for all of my individuals. If you are hiring individuals, even when it comes to the attitude, right? You want to know what their personality is, right? Their personality will match what their attitude is, which will then put you in the thought process to say, okay, I can utilize this person in this area of my business. Okay, so without further ado, it is essential that you hire people for the attitude first and foremost. Skill and experience can be taught, but attitude is something that is much harder to change. When you are looking to fill a role within your business, take the time to really assess each candidate's attitude. Ask these questions such as, are they positive? Do they have a can-do attitude? And are they coachable, right? Those are very important when you're hiring for your organization when it comes to bringing people into the workplace, right? Or into even your workspace. These are just some of the things that you should be looking for when hiring for attitude. It is important to remember that attitude is not everything, but it is very important, a very important factor in determining whether or not someone will be successful in your business. If you are unsure about a candidate's attitude, ask them specific questions about their previous experiences and how they handled difficult situations. This will give you a better idea pretty much of who they are, how their attitude is, and so forth and so on, okay? Once you have hired someone for their attitude, it is important to continue to nurture and develop that attitude. This can be done by providing regular feedback, setting clear expectations, and offering opportunities for growth. By hiring for attitude and then continuing to develop that attitude, you will create a positive and productive work environment that will be beneficial for both employee and business owner. Now, listen, this plays a major role with what? The personality test. Because when you know somebody's personality, you can help mold and help nurture their attitude. So, of course, I'm going to give you 10 tips on how it can help you hire for attitude. So the first one is define the attitude that you're looking for in your employees, right? So for me, giving you guys a level of transparency when it comes to, and it depends on the business that you're in, right? So give you an example. I have a membership association, which is more sales driven, right? So what I teach my sales reps is don't be a salesperson, be an information and education person. Because when people feel that you are educated about the service that you are providing, they will automatically buy into you versus the service. The service will be the bonus, but the person is the sale, right? So it's important. So my attitudes that I'm looking for in that position is you gotta be a people's person, which means what? In your personality test, you have to be an extrovert, not an introvert, right? You gotta love people. Number two, you have to have that that talkative spirit, not too much, not too little, but enough to be able to determine whether or not this individual needs to walk away with just some information to think about it, or this person is they're ready to make a decision right then and there. So you just got to define the attitude that you're looking for. The second tip is train your managers and supervisors on how to identify candidates with the right attitude. One of the things that I've learned in the workspace, when you're looking at managers and supervisors, their attitudes are jacked up. And then you wonder why the staff attitudes are jacked up. It always comes from the top, right? And if the managers and supervisors attitudes are jacked up, you can only imagine what upper management attitudes are, right? So it's a chain reaction. So it's very, very important that whoever is the owner of that organization, 9 times out of 10, if their attitude is crazy, crappy, it's going to be rough going down that chain line, right? So you want to make sure that you're training these individuals, number one, to not just look for the right attitude, but making sure that they even have it in the first place. Because if they don't have the right attitude, it's harder for them to identify, right? Number 3, use behavioral-based interviewing techniques to assess candidates' attitudes. One of my favorites, again, like I explained to you guys, is personality tests. I also make my individuals take a love language test. Why is this important? Because if I'm speaking to your personality and I'm speaking to your love language, I'm making that much more of a conducive workspace for that individual to not work for me, but work with me. Tip 4, develop a comprehensive onboarding program that helps new hires adjust to your company's culture and values. This is a major part, right? Because you want to make sure what? That your people work with you and not for you. I will continuously say this throughout Mayhem in May, because that is what has helped my business and my organization thrive to the all-time heights. Why? Because people work with me and not for me. Tip 5, encourage open communication and feedback between employees and managers. Listen, just because there's a person that's an employee and you have somebody that's at a higher level as a manager, they're no different from one another. And stop allowing them to be. Because what happens is when you don't do that, then the employee respects the manager more, because the manager's attitude is not looking over the employee. Why? Because at the very beginning, you've created what? A workspace for individuals to work with you and not for you. Tip 6, recognize and reward employees who exemplify the desire and attitude in your organization. So one of the things that I do in my organization is with my staff is I send them on a mini vacation once a year, right? That could be a fortnight in Vegas. It can be, a mini 3-day cruise, whatever it is, right? This exemplifies, and this puts them, it gives them the recognition that they are needed, right? And they are appreciated within your organization. So it's definitely beneficial to do that. Tip 7, promote a positive work environment that supports and encourages a positive attitude. Words of affirmation, right? You make your individuals go through an exercise. One of the things that I do, I have so many different forums and groups that I'm in. I'm always speaking positivity into my atmosphere, right? It can be something as simple as sending a nice text message in your group text, wanting everybody to be great, wanting everybody to win. When you want your people that work with you to win, then you will win, right? So you have to promote positivity in the workspace. Tip 8, address negative attitudes and behavior promptly and consistently. What does that mean? Do not out your staff in front of other staff. Pull them into a private area and then express to them how their behavior is affecting the group, right? Never, never, never embarrass somebody who works with you in front of everybody, right? Even when there may be a situation where it puts you in an element to say something that may embarrass them, my advice would be hold it in. Wait until, whatever you have to do to kind of roll that conversation out. And then when you get that individual by themselves, express to them, hey, look, I really didn't want to embarrass you, but what I really wanted to say was this, but I didn't want it to damper, I didn't want to bring a bad attitude into the workspace, right? Listen, guys, You got to understand how you decipher this. You heard it before. It's not what you say, it's how you say things, but it's not how you say things, it's what you say. So you got to determine how to turn those switches on and off at that time. Okay. Tip 9, model the attitude you want your employees to exhibit. What does this mean? You are the example. Whatever you set, whatever stage, whatever presence you set, people will follow. So if you are always angry, you are always mad, you are always upset, then what happens is that when you get through pouring that attitude onto your particular staff people that work with you, then what do you think they're going to do to the next individual, right? This is why those supervisors and managers are always at that place of angry, mean, resentment, not caring. Why? Because something has been fed to them to be able to act that way. And then last but not least, tip 10, continuously reinforce the importance of attitude in your organization. Meaning what? There should be a training about attitudes at least once a month to keep everybody on the same page so everybody knows, okay, I need to make sure that my attitude is at an all-time high. And let me explain something to you. While this is important in the workspace, it's also important. It will also roll over into everyday life for these individuals when they go home, when they're dealing with their kids, even when they're dealing with their friends, family, and even other people outside of the workspace. Having a great attitude atmosphere grows on individuals to now have a great attitude pretty much throughout their life. So listen, I hope that this tip, this segment on day 7 was great for you guys. Hiring for attitude. If it was, do me a favor, share. Today's challenge, I want you to share it with 7 people, right? I want you to share this message with 7 people to say, hey, this is something that you may want to take a look at. Hiring for attitude is a great group of a bunch of information that you can utilize in your workspace. So listen, guys, you already know my quote. Coming together is the beginning. Sticking together is progress, but working together is success. My name is Dr. Casual Pitts, and I'll see you guys on day 8 of Mayhem in May. Peace.